All right, so it's a few days since you saw the last clips, and basically that night I just ran out of time, and I was getting frustrated because I was so close to getting that diverter valve out that you know, it boiled down to the fact that my my hex bit, this is the only one that I've got that's got a ball head. I could get the tip of the bit right on the end of the bolt, but I needed just a little bit more angle to drop it down into, you know, and lock it into the bolt. But, you know, where this connects into the 3/8 inch drive was hitting up against, I think it was the water pump mount or a bracket or something. And so, you know, I just couldn't get that last little bit of angle I needed to drop this down in there. So, you know, you've got all these extensions and you know, it is a little bit of an art trying to snake all this through there. But basically what I did this week is I went ahead and picked up various different bits and different lengths and sizes, and some are magnetic. For the few dollars that each of these cost, that hopefully one of these would work. This will allow me to use a much more, let me use a longer extension, a flexible extension, and get hopefully more angle down that I needed to get that last bolt out. But you know, this worked fine for the two that I could see easily. I did go ahead and pick up a cheap pack off Amazon of, I think there's 12 and 8 inch, both 3/8 and 1/4 inch drive flexible extensions. Now these aren't, you're not gonna be able to put a ton of torque, but at least from my experience, I was able to get the bolts out with these no problem. So I'll just keep using these. For today, I'm not really gonna go through the whole process of showing you everything that I was doing the other day, because you've seen it, but basically I need to get the car up, get the belly pan off, get the intercooler out. I'm not 100% sure if I need to take the intercooler pipe out that I installed, but it might not hurt. I'm gonna loosen and take the 3 bolts off the water pump. Basically I have 1 right on the top and 2 on the bottom that are pretty easy to get to. Once you pull those out, then the pump just, you know, it drops down like 2 inches or moves over to the left 2 inches, and it's just enough to where you can reach up there and get the diverter valve bolts. And I'll check back in once I'm to the point where I'm ready to take the diverter valve out, and hopefully I'll have some good news that between the combination of the new bits that I've got, I'm actually able to reach that 3rd bolt. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a minute. So it's been a little while since my last clip. The tool that I needed worked, and I was able to get direct access to that last bolt. You know, so this combination, you can reach through the fan over the water pump and, you know, get right on that bolt and back it out. So I was able to loosen it. I've checked it with other 5mm hex sockets and bits that I've got. And this one that I bought, it's very loose, and I think what it ended up actually, well, basically it smoothed out the inside of that bit bolt. So I got in a really bad spot because nothing else I had at that point would fit. I've been struggling for like the last hour or two and to get that last bolt out. You know, the other 2 bolts popped right out, no problem. And of course that 3rd one that was difficult to get to has been just a nightmare. So basically I've got a 3/8 inch, probably like a 3 inch extension, an 8 inch flexible extension, an adapter, and then a 4 inch ball head 5mm hex bit. That's the perfect size. That's exactly what you need. I think this is 4 inches, and it gives you just the right angle to get that top bolt. If you'd bought a high quality bit that didn't have as much slop in it, you'd probably be okay, and I would have been done with this a long time ago. And like I said, I've already checked it against some of the other ones that I've got, and it has quite a bit of slop to it. So that's it. Through all the struggles, I was finally able to get it out of the car. It wasn't without breaking this tab here, because once that bolt was stripped, and it was already loose when it started to strip out, I was screwed. So I looked online. These are like $65, $70 to replace if I need to, but I got lucky, and I think the way that mine broke, it actually is very clean, and I'll just probably put a little bit of a epoxy or something on there just to hold it. But I think that when the bolt runs through it, it'll still hold down, it'll hold that down fine. That's the OEM diverter valve. When you unbox the Go Fast Bits DV Plus, it has 3 replacement, which luckily I need because I stripped that one out, but it has 3 replacement bolts that are longer. You then have the main body of the new DV Plus. So basically this will sit between the factory diverter valve and the turbo, and then you basically have some springs. You've got the new insert that's metal and silicone and other various parts. There's 2 ways to install this. Basically one with a spring and one without a spring. If you go without the spring, then it basically behaves just like factory. Of course, obviously now you've got more robust parts, so you don't have to worry about you know, any premature failure. So if you don't put the spring in it, it'll pretty much act exactly like a stock diverter valve. If you put the spring in it, think of it as like a sport mode. And what that does is, again, it'll just give you better throttle response because it's going to hold a little bit of pressure. instead of just releasing it all out. My installation, I'm going to go ahead and put the spring in, but you know, the instructions here are very clear on what you have to do. Basically, you have to disassemble the factory diverter valve. You're going to reuse a couple of the parts in the diverter valve, but for the most part, all these internal pieces just pop out. You will need a little bit of engine oil for assembly. Like I said, I can honestly confirm that getting this out on a, I would even say on a rear wheel drive sedan, it would, you know, because a lot of times the coupes have more room, but the sedan, it's just such a tight space in there. Like I said, I just had terrible luck that that bolt stripped out when I'd already gotten it loose and already had probably gotten about 2 or 3 revolutions. I had stripped it out enough that I couldn't do anything about it. But you can't go straight at it. It has to be at a slight angle, and that's, you know, what really makes all this very complicated. Again, it's going to be another late night, but I'm going to follow the instructions on how to get this back together. Anyway, I'm going to get these parts swapped out, and I'll check back in when we're ready to put it back in the car. My diaphragm I didn't see any tears or, you know, any issues with this OE diaphragm. So you have to reuse this yellow seal, and basically once you've got everything out, there was some debris inside mine, some orange rubber. You know, there's a new spring supplied with the Go Fast Bits diverter valve. And basically you just follow this diagram right here for assembly. And then there's a little nub right there that needs to align with the notch right there. So this will only go on one way. So with enough pressure, that'll just snap together. Again, there's the orientation of that little extra notch. This is the optional spring. If you didn't want to, if you want to have just a factory performance, then you just leave that spring out. And then this needs a little bit of oil. So that's basically it. Getting this back in the car will be a little bit of a challenge just because there is some extra thickness here. So just maneuvering it up and over. There's, I think, a water pump hose. It's quite close to this location, so pretty simple. Just a few pieces, and like I said, right now it's just a friction fit, and then I'll run the bolts into it when we go to install it in the car. So as big of a pain in the ass as that was to get out, it wasn't actually that difficult to get back in. The hardware that they provided is stainless steel, which that was probably the only difficult thing to deal with because I was using my magnetic bits to hold the bolts as I put them in. So that one that was difficult to get out was certainly the most difficult to put back in, but really it wasn't that difficult. I just taped the bolt down to the bit and, you know, fished it up through there. So I basically have to make the, you know, put the electrical connection back on that. And then just for reference, if anybody's doing this is so hard to film, but basically you can get the water pump bolt, the two lower water pump bolts out through here, and then where the charge pipe goes, you can reach up through there with a, you know, a short extension and get that upper bolt off. So not really that difficult loosening the water pump. Again, I didn't take any lines apart. I just took the water pump off its mounting bracket. And of course, you know, I still have to finish putting the charge pipe back in. What a pain in the nuts, but I did get it back all together. It's nice and secure. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get the connections put back in. I'll put the water pump on, get the charge pipe back in, get intercooler, all the under tray stuff, and then I'll check back in with you guys for a quick wrap up. I have the car completely back together. It took minutes to put things back together compared to the hours it took to take it apart. I feel like my diverter valve is nice and secure. I'm sure there'll be some concern about that cracked fastening that I put on, but again, I glued that back together, and then the way it's assembled, I think it's nice and secure, and I did put a washer all over that just in case. And I would say that we definitely confirmed that doing this project on an X-Drive sedan is extremely, extremely difficult. I would easily say I've got 12 hours invested, but again, a lot of that was figuring it out. I got snagged up on a few things other than the bolts. I had real trouble with getting the proper orientation, the charge pipe back together. Last thing I need to do is take this out for a test drive. It has gotten dark, so that'll have to wait till tomorrow. At the very end of this video, I'll do a clip of before with the OE diverter valve, and then I'll get the same audio clips with the Go Fast Bits DV Plus. Again, huge thank you to Brian over at Kies Motorsports for sending me this diverter valve to do the install. It is very challenging to film and really tell you guys how to do it because access is very difficult. Definitely going through the radiator fan, you can access all three, and getting a 4-inch long 5mm ball head hex bit and various extensions with the flexible extension. You can access all three. 2 of them are super easy. That upper right one is super complicated. And if you're unlucky like I am, it'll get rounded out as you try to take it out and then have more problems on your hand. Obviously $60 is $60 or $70 for a new diverter valve, but you can learn from what I did, and essentially you could break the diverter valve if you can't get that other bolt off. Once you get the diverter valve off, that upper bolt is fully accessible and there's really no issue. I actually ended up using Allen because I was able to get that in my hand up in there and just work it off. So I've got some busted knuckles I need to go take care of and go get cleaned up for the night. But thank you guys for watching. And again, this was just something I've been wanting to do for a long time. There's a reason why I put it off, because I knew it was going to be challenging. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to get focused on the RX-7 again. Got several projects lined up for that. So stay tuned. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave any comments down below or questions. It may be easier if you guys are thinking about doing this project, leave a question down below and I'll try to answer that. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you guys next time.